Welcome to another training. This is a team training that we do every Tuesday at 12 p.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific, and we go through different parts of our business model, different ways to get ahead, different ways to get out of your own way with things like personal and professional development. Basically, how to create a win-win-win environment, a win for you, a win for your partners, and a win for your clients. We've got some great training for you today, but before we do that, we always like to review what we did last week. And when you guys look at what we did last week, it's the same thing that we're always talking about. We need to get out of the mentality of an insurance agent or a salesman. We need to stop selling products and we need to start selling solutions, systems, strategies, teaching people how to get ahead. You don't want to sell stuff. You want to create buying decisions because that will create everything else that you're looking for in terms of user generated content, reviews, referrals to keep that monetization cycle moving. So today, what we're talking about is the business model blueprint. This is how to stack sales, serve better. Remember, if you're in a relationship business and you're serving people, you're going to create monetization, you're going to create revenue, you're going to create income. If you're not serving anybody, there's going to be no income, no revenue, no growth. And then once you learn how to serve, then it's all about scaling faster, getting that asset built, getting to where you want to be, so where you can remove yourself from the equation and everything else is still moving accordingly. So for yourself, for your clients, for your business partners, understand this is not a sales opportunity. This is a business model that we've created over the last number of years. And it's really important because when I got into this industry a number of years ago, I got a crash course in agent psychology, industry psychology, and I really realized that most agents are just thinking transactionally. They're just like policy to policy, commission check to commission check, bill to bill, just kind of surviving, right? Not really thriving. And so we want to teach our clients and our partners not just to survive, but actually thrive no matter what the environment is because of what we do. Top producers think systematically. And once you do that, things change for you and you start aligning yourself with the system. And then you realize, hey, I'm not just selling products, you're operating inside a model that's designed to compound results. It's a lot easier to help one client with three different parts of their financial plan than to go out and find three new clients. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. If you understand the model, you stop chasing income and you start building it. Remember, your contacts will have a direct impact on your cash flow. So, as a new agent, what you want to understand is if your cash flow is low or if it's hurting, it can be reverse engineered back to the fact that you don't have enough conversations, you don't have enough contacts, you don't have enough cycles of communication happening for you to create those end outcomes. Remember, it's not your job to create a certain end outcome. It's your job to create a lead, resolve that lead, create the outcome. And then there'll be outcomes that are good, bad, or ugly, but the good ones will be the ones that we'll concentrate on and then use, like I said, for more referrals, more user generated content, more reviews, more things to build your business and build your brand so that other people can get that trust, rapport, credibility before they ever even speak to you. All right. So the problems with the traditional models, and this is what we teach you guys to help you guys understand what's going to work. But also, when you're going out and talking to other agents about attracting talent into our organization, you have to understand the problem with traditional models. What is the problem with traditional models? Well, this is what most agents do. They sell one product at a time. They handle everything themselves. And if you got a small agency owner that you're talking to that's running an agency of like 7, 10, 20 people, maybe, that person is wearing all the hats and they're bogged down with administrative stuff. So most agents are selling one product at a time. They're handling everything themselves. They start over at the starting line with every new prospect. And guys, they are leaving a tremendous amount of money and opportunity on the table. So you don't want to always have to go back to the starting line. What you want to do is something totally different. Why? Because the results here suck. You have low retention, you have inconsistent income, you have burnout, you have no leverage. And after a while, that no leverage turns into a huge weight, shackle, chain, whatever it is that you want to call it, that becomes unbearable. And most of the time at that point, what people are going to do is they're going to drift and they're going to quit, start something else, and then probably end up quitting that down the road. So we want to change this and we want to help other agents talk about what We want other agents to understand that what are the problems and how we solve the problems. So this is an overview of our business model. How do we change things? Well, one prospect can equal multiple solutions, which equals multiple revenue streams. Remember, this isn't a parasitic relationship. You're not just selling something to somebody over and over again they may or may not need. You're identifying ways, problems you can help them with, goals you can help them with. And that's where the systems, the strategies, and the solutions come in. So, our clients may need help in mortgage protection. They may need help with converting debt to wealth. They may need help with retirement strategies, tax strategies. If you have a business owner, we have business owner programs. It all basically boils down to a lot of life insurance, annuities, retirement strategies. But the key point is we don't sell one thing. We solve multiple problems. So when you're selling, you're serving. And when you're serving people, you're helping them out. So understand that when we get in front of somebody, if their biggest issue or their biggest problem or their biggest goal is one part of the financial plan, we don't want to just ignore that totally and start talking about something else. We have enough in our model where we can address that. Oh yeah, we can help you out with that. Here's where you want to go to learn more, and then set up the next action step. So if somebody's biggest goal or biggest problem is not dealt with on the front end, you're talking to basically deaf ears, because that's the most important thing to them. So we created a model that allows you to address that and then get them into our ecosystem. And once they're in our ecosystem, they get access to everything else that we got, all the solutions, strategies, systems. And you'll find that an average client buys about three things from you when you do your job correctly. Stacking sales. This is where you can go from a $50,000 earner to a $500,000 earner. There's two big things that you have to get really good at. Is number one, stacking sales, and number two is the follow-up that leads to stacking sales. If you're not good at follow-up and you're very good at lead creation, and somebody is only average at lead creation, but they're extremely good at follow-up, that second person is going to make way more money. Why? Because the transactions happen not in the first or the second interaction. It happens down the road, the fifth, the seventh, or beyond. So if you're not getting in front of people that many times, that means you're leaving revenue, income, growth on the table that other person that's very good at follow-up is going to recognize. So here's how it looks, guys. And this is what we talk about. Stacking is not stacking sales. It's solving multiple problems for one client over time or simultaneously. Sometimes you can hit them right in a row. Sometimes it's this 3 months down the road, 6 months down the road, a year down the road. This is why having a CRM, having effective follow-up, staying top of mind, staying in front of people is extremely important. Let's say you get in front of somebody for mortgage protection. Well, life insurance is the first step in legacy building, right? So if you've got an inner circle, if you got a spouse, you've got kids, you need to protect their ability to stay in the home, as well as we have living benefits, your ability to stay in the home during whatever life throws at you. So maybe that's how you meet. But then you start talking about improving their cash flow through our debt strategies. And then you talk about build future income through retirement strategies and all the advantages that we have with how we set that up. And then remember, make money, multiply money, keep it from the government. So our tax strategy is protect the income from the IRS. Each solution unlocks a new opportunity. New opportunities equal new conversations. New conversations equal new cash flow. So if you just stopped at mortgage protection and sold that person a policy and never talked to them again, A, you're not getting to the rest of the model. And B, if you're not staying in front of them as an agent, other agents are going to come and try and sell them a new policy, tell them that your policy sucks, whatever it might be, even though that's not the truth. This industry is filled with agents that are hungry for commission, desperate commission. They will do anything. That's why you have to set yourself aside from that person and make sure that the clients that you do bring into your fold, you stay in front of, that you service them and they know that you're the person to talk to about any of their needs. So you don't necessarily need a new lead. Lead creation is the lifeblood of your business, but when you can create better conversations and you can monetize different points of that conversation, it becomes a lot easier. You can take somebody that may be worth, a policy $2,000 to you, and you can now take that person up to monetizing 20 grand from them. And remember, this is not a parasitic relationship. You're not doing something that's not in the best interest of the client. We're helping the client, but because we have so many solutions, we can monetize that conversation in a lot of directions. One client should never equal one sale. Every solution creates another conversation. Now, it doesn't, let's say that you're talking to somebody and you just run into a wall that this is the only way that I can help them right now. Doesn't stop there. Who else do you know and care about that needs access to this information that I should talk to, that needs to know about this? It's not out who else can I sell an insurance policy to? Who else can I sell a retirement policy to? It's who else do you know and care about that needs access to this type of information. So even if it's not that particular client, the conversation continues. You got to get referrals. You've got to get other opportunities like gold mining. If you hit a vein of gold, you're not going to stop and go home. You're going to continue to dig there. So understand that it's on you to further monetize, whether it's that particular client or the market they have for referrals. One of the things that I think separates us from the crowd in terms of our team and what we offer is how we assist with prospects. Because, and I've talked to a lot of agents through interviews, through training over the years, and basically a lot of agents are just thrown out there. And if you need help or you need assistance, good luck with getting that, right? So they get to a point where they only know so much and nobody's there to help them. So what's going to happen? They're going to drift, right? And they're going to quit. And they maybe even have a negative connotation associated with the industry. This is where our leverage comes in. Our agents are not expected, and they're not expected to know everything, present everything, or close everything. That's a ludicrous model, in my opinion. We have a virtual assembly line where marketers, managers, and consultants all work together for the benefit of the partner, the client, the business as a whole. So the model is you open the door and we close the door. So you open conversations, the team supports it, and the system closes it. And then we'll teach you by doing that and seeing that over and over again how to take on that role. But you are not in a position where you have to take on roles that you don't know how to do, don't want to do, or don't have the time to do. That is a huge part of our team's advantage and one of the hugest parts of the conversation in recruiting talented people or people that maybe have had bad experiences at other agencies or IMOs. What does this look like? Support includes, well, whatever you need. So if you are doing your job on the front side and opening conversations and getting people halfway into general interest is what we call it with jab communication, we will help you with discovery calls. We'll help you with, any type of product specialization you need, advanced case design, presentation support, follow-up systems, AI help, go high level workflows. This is a small list of what we can do to help you. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to plug into the system. In fact, if you're waiting around to be perfect, it's just a veiled way for you to justify procrastinating, doing what you need to do, which is taking the initial activity. We can't open the door for you, but we can help you with everything else. And then by doing that, you'll see us do the same thing over and over and over again. And you'll say, hey, Mike, I got this. Or you can continue to pass that role off. It's up to you, 100% your call. We build together, guys, not alone. So when you're out there talking and you're building your asset and you're building your agency, this is one of the biggest communication points. Hey, we are a team. We're not a group of individuals that are on desert islands alone. We work with each other and we're always there to assist each other, assist the clients, whatever it is that we need from a team level, we provide. So understand that and digest that for yourself and be confident that no matter what you bring us, we can help you with. And also, as you're talking to other agents that may not have that support, training, coaching, mentoring, we provide that over here. One-stop shop positioning. This is where most of the agents in the industry will lose. This is why we will win. Why is that? Because if you have to shop out something, like if somebody needs, let's say, a trust, we have access to trust. We don't have to shop it out. But if you shop that out to somewhere else, now you've got somebody else talking to that person about things like their asset, their insurance, their retirement, things like that. You don't want to be that person that has to source out or shop out everything that you don't have access to. You have access to everything that you need in this model. So that means that the market reality of many agents, this is what they encounter. Their prospects are overwhelmed. They're dealing with multiple advisors, conflicting advice, disconnected strategies on insurance, taxes, and investments. What's going to happen? Well, if they're confused, they're going to paralyze and not really take any action at all. Who's that helping? It's not really helping anybody. It's putting them in a bad situation, not helping you grow. So what we do from our side And our advantage is we provide a centralized financial solution hub. And what that means is that no matter what somebody needs, whether it's debt, whether it's insurance, whether it's retirement, whether it's taxes, no matter what they need, we have at least surface level answers and solutions for that. Now, if they need to get a CPA or somebody involved, obviously that's a professional that they would need to go outside and have. But we have everything inside the financial plan in the 6 building blocks, in the 7 laws or rules of money. We have all of that integrated in one model so that A, you don't have to ship somebody off for one other thing that you don't have to offer, but B, every one of those things that they need, you're monetizing, you're making more money, and you're growing your business. What it means is that if you have one relationship and multiple solutions and a coordinated strategy and long-term planning, what does that mean? Well, it means they're going to be satisfied. They're going to have higher trust. You're going to have more retention, more referrals, larger cases. If you're looked at as an advisor, a consultant, somebody that can lead somebody either away from a problem they don't want to go to or in the direction of a goal or objective they have, then A, they're going to do business with you multiple times. You're going to tell other people. And if you've got a persona, let's say you're working with business owners, who do business owners run with? Most of the time, it's other business owners. So understand that if you develop a persona, develop a message that resonates with that persona, and then just continuously get in front of those people over and over and over again, becomes a lot easier. You don't have to be that chameleon that, blends into every kind of conversation that you think that you need to have. You're just having the same conversations over and over and over again. So understand whether it's mortgage protection, debt strategy, retirement strategy, insurance, whatever it is, you have solutions, systems, strategies, products, and services that can help. This is what's going to also help you attract talented partners. So you are fixing the deficiency inside the industry that most agents encounter. And when you do that, you can usher in the problem in order to talk about the solution. We don't want to dwell on problems, but as you're talking to people, expose the problems, then dwell on the solutions, the fixes, the strategies that we have. What does top talent want? They want leverage, they want systems, they want support, they want scalability, and they want income plus ownership. This is what the model does. It's not a job, guys. It's not just commissions. It's equity-based opportunity. You plug into existing infrastructure. You have the ability to scale faster. We're not asking somebody to invent the wheel. We're just asking them to put the wheel on and run with it, right? Drive as fast as you can through this model. Strong systems are going to attract strong people. So when you're out there, understand the deficiencies in the industry, understand the problems of the agent with consistent cash flow, book meetings, lead generation, then use those as a way to explain to people why we have solutions and fixes for those. People don't join an opportunity, they join structure. Now, they might be talked into an opportunity, and you see a lot of that with some of the biggest IMOs in our industry. They sell on emotion, they recruit on emotion, but we sell on solutions and we build and recruit on structure. We're all in this together. We all know what we're trying to do. We're all using the same infrastructure. So understand what other companies are doing. Set yourself aside. You don't want to compete with other companies. You want to step aside, differentiate yourself a little bit more so you're looked at as something different. Putting it all together. This is where it all really comes together. This is the flow, guys. You need to learn how to master the art of starting conversations. Doesn't have to be long, doesn't have to be drawn out. Most of the time, it's quick, what we call jab communication, and then it goes into questions. And if they want to learn more, then you're identifying, right? So starting a conversation, identifying a problem, and introducing the first solution, not everything that we do. Why? That's going to get very confusing. You're concentrating on what they want to concentrate on, which is the problem that's been identified. Then after that, once you identify and solve that first problem, then you can stack additional opportunities. You can use team support and deliver the full strategy. If you are building a house, it needs a foundation first. Same thing with your conversations. Make sure that you're talking about something that they are interested in, whether it's a problem or a solution. If you're talking to somebody and you haven't uncovered a problem, you haven't dug deep enough, or the person is just unwilling to talk to you, and you can disqualify them. Big picture, guys, if you provide more value, you provide more revenue for yourself and your business. If you provide more solutions, you provide more retention. And if you provide more solutions, you provide more growth. So everything that you want is intertwined with the strategy system solutions for either the client or the partner that we developed over the last few years that really helps them get out of their own way on the client and partner side and get where they want to go, whether that's building an asset in a business on the client side, whether that's debt, retirement, insurance, whatever it might be. This is the problems that you want to avoid. These are common mistakes to avoid when you're looking at this model and being successful in this industry with what you're trying to accomplish, building the legacy, whatever it might be. Trying to do everything yourself is a big, big, big problem. Only focusing on one product. Now, I'm not talking about focusing on one strategy. We say take a strategy, take a system, take a solution, master it, then move on to something else. You don't have to be that person that knows everything, because you can be a jack of all trades and a master of nothing, or you can hone in on something and become very good at it and then teach other people. Not introducing additional solutions, just being that person that stops at the stop sign and then never rolls forward. They just stop completely. You want to continue the conversation. How do we do that? We do that with more education, more information, more abilities for them to get ahead. Not leveraging team support, just thinking that, hey, I've got this, I'm going to do all this. You can make 100% of nothing over and over and over again, and that's still going to equal zero. So get some team support, get some things in place, understand how to do things correctly, and then start doing it for yourself and other people. Treating this like a side hustle. If you treat this like a side hustle, if you treat this like a hobby, you will have hobby or side hustle money. You treat this like an actual business, you'll actually have business money. You don't build this business by doing more. You build it by doing it the right way. You can work extremely hard in this industry and be broke, or you can work smart and build something that actually works for you. You want your business working for you, not you necessarily working for your business. It's not always going to be like that. In the very beginning, it's kind of lopsided, but you're building an asset that you can potentially walk away from that still works without your everyday presence. That's called owning a business instead of being self-employed and owning a job. All right, this week's call to action. What do we want to do? If you've got prospects that you've already, or clients you've already serviced, what other problems exist? Maybe even you have a prospect that whatever that happened in the first conversation didn't really resonate with them. They didn't take the action step. Go back to them. What other problems exist? What else can we solve? The next step is to help. If you guys need help, book a strategy call with us. Otherwise, start booking strategy calls with some of these people and start talking to them. If you want to pass that off to us, by all means, that's where team support comes in. This model is designed for you to win if you actually use it. Remember, I can't open conversations for you, but I can help you qualify, disqualify, and close the qualified people. Last thing we're going to talk about today before we end this training is nothing happens if nothing happens. So think about the bottom of your funnel that's creating outcomes, including revenue and income. If there's nothing coming from the top of the funnel, nothing can come out of the bottom of the funnel. Contacts equal contracts. If you look at your business for the last 7 days, let's just go to the last business week last week, and you had nobody that you talked to about your business, nothing's going to happen, right? So understand that you have to turn the key in the ignition. You have to get the one moving, because in the beginning, it's just you. So you have to start the fire. It'll eventually be a huge blaze, but you have to be the spark. Nothing happens if nothing happens, guys. Don't be the person that's reactive, just like posting something and waiting for people to call you or write you or DM you. Be proactive. Go out there and start conversations, make it happen. Understand you're coming from a position of power. You're an educator. You're a consultant. You're teaching people how to get ahead, win the money game, beat the banks. If they don't want to learn that stuff, unfortunately, they're on the best plan for them. If they do want to learn that stuff, there's a lot that we can help them out with.